Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams to all the assembled devotees. Thank you for joining us today in the morning. And behalf of our leader, I would like to thank all the Japalis. So let us start today's Bhagavatam session. So once again, I'll welcome you all for today's Bhagavatam session. I'm very fortunate that I'm getting an opportunity to serve you all in the morning with the Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. And I thank all the devotees who are present here today. And I would like to seek all your blessings so that I can stick on to Parampara and I can talk which is relevant to this particular verse. So let us have a short kirtan, then we'll start the verse. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo
I think we lost the connection.
Is my voice audible, Prabhu?
And now you're back, Mataji. Okay. You had lost for a momentarily. You can continue, Mataji. Now it's audible.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
I think if there is a signal problem, if you can, switch off the video or something like that.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
So let's read out the shloka. Idam mama chakshvata Idam mama chakshva tavadimulam vasundhare yena vikashitasi kalena vate bhalina bhaliyas surarchitam kim ritamamba saubhak. So let us read out. 1 minute. Yeah, so the translation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Mother, you are the reservoir of all riches. Please inform me of the root cause of your tribulations by which you have been reduced to such a weak state. I think that the powerful influence of time, which conquer the most powerful, might have forcibly taken away all your fortune, which was adored even by the demigods. So, purport, by the grace of the Lord, each and every planet is created fully equipped. So, not only in this earth, fully equipped with all the riches of for the maintenance of its inhabitants, but also when the Lord descends to the earth, the whole earth becomes so enriched with all kind of opulences that even the denizens of heaven worship it with all affection. But by the will of the Lord, the whole earth can at once be changed. So he can do or and undo a things by his sweet will. Therefore, no one should consider himself to be self-sufficient or independent of the Lord. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानार्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। ओम नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामिनिति नामिने नमो आचार्यपदाय नित्याय कृपापदाय गौरकदामदाय नगरग्रामधारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां भावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। So here there are three words. We'll look into the keywords of Vikarshitasi. It means the Vik, and Kalena Vate, the time factor. We'll just focus on the Vasundare, Vikarshitasi, and Kalena. So in this shloka, when we read, we'll understand that. So the earth is referred as a mother cow. Earth has taken a form of mother cow, because yesterday her Grace Sugunamai Mataji was explaining the reason, the cause of why earth has taken in the form of Vasundara, cow. And here Dharma is in the form of bull, right? So now the situation is, cow is asking the bull the reason why the misfortunate is happened. So when we see in the beginning of the first canto, we understand that how Kali enters, and especially in this chapter, 16th chapter, it mentions that how Kali enters into the kingdom of Parikshit, right? So when the Kali enters into the kingdom of Parikshit, there was what we say, full of opulences. There was no way that Kali enters, because everywhere there is a pious activity. So what we can understand here is, there was no clue that Kali has there in the Parikshit. There is less chance of being, 1 minute. Yeah. So Hare Krishna. So here, as I told you, the mother cow is asking, right? So the mother, the mother is in the form of cow, and cow is asking the bull. So in the kingdom of Parikshit, what I was saying is, the Parikshit, so there was all the dharmas, all the 4 pillars of dharmas was established in his kingdom, in Parikshit Maharaj's kingdom. So what are those things? There was a full of daya, right? So the full of compassion, there was austerity, cleanliness, truthfulness, everything was there. So there is there was only protection of women and children, and there was only the service of the cows and brahmanas. There was no chance of misbehavior or intoxication, right? So this was the condition of Parikshit Maharaj kingdom. But in this way, the kingdom was very well organized. But one by one, slowly, when the Kali entered into the kingdom, so all these 3 pillars of dharma was cut off, and little bit truthfulness was there, right? So when this the dharma's 4 pillars, so here the dharma represented by the bull, so the bull's 3 legs were cut off. So looking at this condition, the cow is mourning. It is morose towards the situation of the dharma. So here in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that who is the God of God has snatched away all your blessings. So this is the beginning of Kali. So we can see that the Kali is entering. That's why we can also see cow is being cut off in this Kali Yuga, isn't it? So there is unruliness everywhere. Forget about the corruption. So there is no righteousness. Everywhere is unrighteousness. The 3 legs of religion is already broken. So out of which, as we see, little bit truthfulness is there. So this is the condition explained in this shloka. And another one very important key point we have to understand here is, even in Kali Yuga, so though we know in our Krishna consciousness, His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada established Satya Yuga. So how is it? Because we are all witnessing it by following 4 regulative principles, right? In Satyayuga, there were 4 pillars of religion. So the 4 pillars of dharma is associated with following the 4 regulative principles. So what we say, right? The compassion, daya. So that we are following by following no meat eating. And austerity, tapas, we are following by no intoxication. Cleanliness or saucham, we are following by no illicit sex. And truthfulness, satyam, by following no gambling, right? So this all happened because of dear Srila Prabhupada. So this is how the Srila Prabhupada has brought in Kali Yuga also the essence of Satya Yuga. So we are very fortunate to be in Krishna consciousness. And very important is everything is depend on God. So this shloka is emphasizing on everything is depending on God itself. Everyone's security, everyone's food, everyone's I mean everything is arranged by the God. Everything, whatever is happening in our life is the will of the Lord, right? So, but when the asuras want to create the world, um, it is all because of their will and wish, right? So, what do you mean by asuras? Let us understand. Everything, when arranged by the Lord, the tendency of jiva is to serve or enjoy, isn't it? So it's the free will given to us, whether you want to serve or you want to enjoy. But when we are enjoying in the Bhautika Prapancha, we forget to serve Krishna. So we are trying to become an asuras. What is asuras? There is an asuras within us. Especially when I mention us or we, please forgive me. This is all for myself, right? I know there are wonderful devotees are here, pure Vaishnavas here. So kindly forgive me for that. So what do you mean by asuras? Asur means prana and indriya, life and sense. Sura means Rath, who is a chariot of their own happiness, of their sense enjoyment, is called as Asuras. So, in this way, we see that there are the Devatas and Asuras. So, the life of the Devatas or, the godly persons are based on the Varnashrama Dharma, the contentment of the Lord. They work to serve the Lord, the service of the devotees. They engage in contentment of the Lord and to serve his devotees, serve his devotees. So they engage themselves in the service of the Lord. But whatever the life of the asuras, they always meant for sense gratification. They can't understand the God, what is God and who are pure devotees. They're like, okay, what you people are doing in the morning, getting up early, chanting 16 rounds. They say, it's all like waste of time when, you're not earning any money out of it, right? This is the difference between the godly person and the suras and the asuras. So in this way, in this society, till the time there is no life independent on Krishna, that is why it is written in Prabhupada's purport that everything is organized here by Krishna. So even the water, food, house, everything, what we get is by the Krishna, and that has to utilize for the service of the Krishna, not for our own sense enjoyment. And what we can understand is in the first shloka of the Ishopanishad, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Tena Tyakta Bunjate Ma Gharda Kashradhir Dharma. So that whatever is my share in this word, I should take as much as I have. But knowing the share of the others, we should not touch it. So whatever comes to me, that is the principle of Ishopanishad. That's the first shloka says. Whatever is given to me, that is only the share of myself. I should not touch anything given to others. In this way, God has kept so much, enough, not even sufficient. It is more enough. So even there is no little water in this earth, right? So we heard that in science and social, 75% of the earth is situated on 75% of water is on this earth, right? So it's not like limited, it's unlimited, everything is unlimited. But the thing is, if there is desert and there is a lot of water present in the ocean, correct? So what we can do, can we take the ocean water to the desert, which is it the what to say, eligible to drink it, use it? No. So this is a will of the Lord. So how much water is available, that much water we get it. It's not that 75% of the earth is covered by the water, let us take out the water. No, it is highly impossible. So in this, we can understand that everything works according to the will of the Lord. So, but we just remember the Lord and we have to give a gratitude. And one of the sloka in Bhagavad Gita says, Aham sarvasva prabhu matha swarupa ruta iti matha bhajante mam. So, Buddha bhava samanvitha. So whatever is created in this material world and the spiritual world, and whoever knows it comes to my refuge and serves me. So whoever understand the essence of this sloka, so they are willing to serve and take shelter of the Lordship. So this is one of the important points we have to understand from this shloka. And once what happens when Prabhupada was in India in 1962, one of his disciples or the foreigners has visited India. So there was, that time there was a, drought. There was a akala. So it means that there was shortage of water and no grains, and because of the scarcity of foodstuff. So we can say, abhava. So during that time, people were really tolerating the situation. There was no strike. There was no hangama in the political parties. Everyone are tolerating. They were so silent. This person has said, Prabhupada, there was no violence here at all. Then in case if the same situation happened in our country, there could be a highly violence there. Then we can understand that people are especially the Sanatanis are very tolerant. So because people are silent, that means that they're just tolerating. Similarly, the Mother Earth is also tolerating. What not we are doing to Mother Earth, right? So even we are destroying, we are breaking the trees, we are breaking the mountains, right? We are doing all nonsense with the Mother Earth, but still Mother Earth is tolerating. So we should also understand that being a devotee, we should also imbibe the quality of tolerance and gratitude. These are the two essence we are going to learn. So if there is no gratitude, even to understand the gratitude, I'll just narrate one small story, which was said by Bhishmadev in Mahabharata. So Bhishmadev narrates this story in Mahabharata. There was a hunter went to hunt by poisoning his arrow. So he saw some birds sitting on the tree. He wanted to hunt the bird. But what happened is, he wanted to hunt. By the time the bird went inside the tree, there was a beautiful nest is being built inside the tree. Then, since the arrow was poisoning, then he hit the tree. When that arrow went and hit the tree, the entire tree became poisonous and it slowly started drying up. But there was a bird, the parrot bird was born out of it, born from the tree. It has taken a shelter. So it had a house inside. So the parrot was watching what's happening this tree. Day by day, the tree is becoming dry and weak. And slowly one day, the entire tree was collapsed. But this parrot bird did not leave the tree at all. He did not leave the tree at all, even though it was hungry and it was not so comfortable to live there. So this was entirely watched by the Indra. So Indradev saw this parrot determination and gratitude. It was inside the tree only, and he was there near the tree. It is not going anywhere, even though the tree has dried up and dead. Then Indradev really pleased by this act of the parrot. So he just come in the disguise of a Brahmin. And he came and he said to the parrot, "Hey bird, why did you not leave this place? The tree has already dried up. Everything is got destroyed. What is your work over there?" Then the parrot bird said, "Oh Brahmadev, the life I have got, the birth which I have taken in this tree. So because of this tree, I'm alive today. The tree has given me a strength, support, shelter. How can I leave the tree now? Then Indradev said, then I'm very pleased with you. I'm very happy with you. Show your generosity is really great. Your love and gratitude. So I just wanted to give the boon. You can ask whatever you want. Then you imagine what the bird asked. The bird asked that, if you want to give benediction, please, I want to see this tree again as full with the life, with the green leaves and, a lot of flowers and fruits. Like it should be as young as it can, as good as it. So then the Indradev was kind enough to shower the blessings. So here we can understand that the gratitude is so high of the bird. That's a reason this bird has attained heaven. So in this way, the small parrot bird, by just showing a little gratitude, he went to heaven. Similarly, if we are showing gratitude, little gratitude to our Guru Maharaj, our Guru Vrindas and Krishna, don't we go back to Godhead? So definitely we go back to Godhead, because Bhagavan is very merciful, right? So there are two main duties of Bhagavan. This is what I heard yesterday's lecture. One is God will always protect his devotees. And second point is he always getting auspiciousness to his devotees' life by protecting. Suraksha. So this is, happens how much we surrender. If we surrender so much, Krishna will reciprocate so much. Krishna will help us so. Krishna, am I audible?
Again, small disconnection. Don't worry, Mataji. You can just switch off your video and continue.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. So it's all about our surrenderance and our gratitude. More you surrender, more you give gratitude, so more Krishna's shower his blessings. Even though if you're not surrender, if you're not grateful or gratitude to Krishna, don't Krishna protect? Definitely Krishna will protect. But the reciprocation will be more if we serve, if we complete our purpose of life. Even in Brahma's Stuti, Brahma's prayer, Brahma also says that, whatever, with his heartfelt forgiveness, he prays that, 1 minute, I'll switch off. Yeah, whoever accept Sankata or positive, even Kunti Suti also we say that, right? So as it is, it's our baggage, right? Without any grudge or revenge, then definitely the person will go back to Godhead, correct? Kunti says that you give all the Sankatas so that we can keep remembering you, right? Smarana will happen. But in Brahma's Brahma's prayer, the essence of that, what it says is, when you give all the miseries, we will take it positive. The devotees definitely take positive, will not have any grudge on the person who is troubling us, will not take a revenge of that person. If any person has take the whatever comes in our life in so positive, all the dukkhas and all, so definitely the person is eligible to go back to Godhead. This is what Brahma says in his stuti. And one of the shlokas in Bhagavad Gita 9.31. So, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, shashvat chanti nigachati, kaunteya pratijanihi, name bhaktya pranashati. So, the shloka's meaning is that whoever takes a shelter in their distress or do bhakti rigorously can, anyone does it with complete faith. So because all are, they go back to Godhead. So Krishna will be there to protect them. So in this way, to do bhakti, can anyone do it? But because it's very easy when we are in very comfortable zone, when we are happy, it's very easy to do bhakti. But in this 9.31, Bhavati Dharmatma Shashvachati Niganchati. So in this shloka, Krishna says, whoever remember me during their difficult time. So definitely, whoever takes a shelter during their distress and give the gratitude, so I'll be there for them for their protection. And second point is Atma Ram. Bhagavan is Atma Ram. So he is completely satisfied within himself. Whatever we are giving, the Chappan Bhog or constructing of the temple, or doing some little austerities and services, Krishna is not wanted all these things from us, but he just wanted to check out that how much we are remembering Krishna. It is not just right that, today I have offered so many bhoga or I have did a lot of service in the temple, Krishna is so pleased. No, definitely Krishna will be pleased with a small little service also. But the thing is, Krishna wants, our sense gratification to be convert into his pleasure. So when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what is the meaning of Hare Krishna Mahamantra? When we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It means engage us into your devotional service. Give us so much of services. Why do we want to serve Krishna? So that we should not forget Krishna. So we get, more than our sense gratification, we want to satisfy Krishna. Krishna will be more happy when we do little service, because Krishna knows that how many birth we have already taken, right? So we have taken billions of birth. We don't know, right? So Krishna will be so happy. Krishna will be jumping, right? See this Jiva, he's holding Japamala early in the morning and chanting, so by seeing our little effort towards bhakti, Krishna will be so much pleased. So that's the reason we got a wonderful opportunity to be in Krishna consciousness. And one more important point I would like to share with you all today is, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami says, Anukulasya Sankalpa Pratikulasya Anukulasya Sankalpa Pratikulasya Varjita. Hare Krishna, 1 minute. So here it says that there are 1 minute. I'll just say this sloka. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam rakshisyati vishwaso gropritya varna tata atma nikshepa karpanya shat vidha sharanagati. These are the 6 types of sharanagati. There are 6 divisions of surrender. That is, accept those things favorable to devotional services and reject which is unfavorable. But we generally act, reverse, isn't it? Especially myself. And the conviction that Krishna will give protection. Definitely, when we do this small task, definitely Krishna will be there for our protection. And accept the Lord as one's guardian or master. We generally consider somebody as our guardian, our parents, or some other politician. I mean, what to say? We politicians has a guards, right? Security guards and all. But actually, when we accept who is our master, when we consider the Lord is our one's master, then we should consider in that way, and we have to surrender with a complete humility. Then there is no doubt that Krishna will be there, and definitely we go back to Godhead. So Krishna will be more happy when we serve him with a lot of enthusiasm also. So both going with a bhakti. See, generally here, myself, we do, I generally do is, I want bhakti in a one line, I want sense gratification in another line. So that will not give us a completeness. Either we have to hold, like, we are traveling in 2 boats. One day, one time we climb 10 steps, and immediately we get down with another 10 steps. Then the progress will not happen. The advancement will not happen. So bhakti and sense gratification cannot go parallel. We have to compromise our sense gratification to do a sadhana bhakti. We all are Rupanugas, we all are sadhana bhaktis. So our motive is to serve the Lord. There is no other way to go back to Godhead. Just be with the devotees association and go back to Godhead. So by seeing this, I just wanted to say a last one story, and I would like to wind up. So, what happens? There was the two people. One person was meditating. I mean, both of them are intensely meditating on Lord. One was very rich, and other one was very poor. Because their meditation was so intense, God appears. The rich man asked that, "What do you want?" When the God asked, then rich man said, "I want a boon that I want to be always in the mood of taking. Always, I want to get something from others. I want to get something from others." Okay, fine. God said Tathastu. Then other person again, asked, "What do you want?" When the Lord asked, Brahma asked, "What do you want?" Then he said, "I want to give always." Oh, he is poor. Since I'm poor from my life, I couldn't give anything to the people or society. So I want to give something to the society. So give me a boon that I want to keep on giving, 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 giving. So then what they become, next Janma, the rich person has become very poor so that he can take, from others. He can beg and he can take from others. But the poor person become a very rich, very great king, so that he has enough opulences. He was keep on giving. Even we see, right, during COVID, what happened. So Krishna has given us, blessed with so many things. Even he never charged for the air, food, shelter, the natural resources, what we utilize. But in COVID, we know the value of the air, the oxygen. One oxygen cylinder cost so much, right? So Krishna is always giving us, but we are ending up by taking from Krishna. Whatever we do, we have some intention of doing or performing the services, right? So that is not with a pure devotee. Pure devotee always willing to give something, give something. So when we say chant Hare Krishna and be happy, that should not be just a word or says in the book. We have to actually practice it in our life. See, for example, there are so many devotees who want to please Krishna, who want to give something to Krishna with a self-surrender and humility. So by this few points, I would like to end up. Sorry, I have exceeded 4 more minutes, but it was very interesting shloka. I really felt happy and grateful by reading the shloka. So in this shloka, the essence forward is the gratitude, and whatever comes in our path of bhakti, we have to tolerate and move ahead so that we can be successful or advance in bhakti. And thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, and kindly forgive me. I had some internet problem. So, and once again, I thank all our leaders for this wonderful service. Hare Krishna. And if I commit any mistake, kindly forgive me. Thank you so much. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.